Broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hey everyone, it is Brian Kos here for another Wednesday Marketing webinar. This one will be a little different than some because what we'll be essentially doing is we'll be analyzing a lot of the businesses that you sent in, and this will be more from like a little bit on the SEO side, but a lot more on what we would do if we were you, like what we would do basically as your business and such right there. So we might touch a little bit on SEO stuff, but a lot more will be on like marketing concepts and stuff like that. With that, we have a decent amount of websites sent in and a handful of last minute ones as well. So I'll give you guys an option. I can basically pick, a handful to go through to today and save some for a future use, or I can kind of split this up in 2 calls and we can get through like half today and half next week. So why don't you do this? If you want to just have 1 call on the stuff and have next week be completely different stuff, maybe type in a 1. Or if you want this to be 2 calls where we do like half the websites this week and half the sites next week, maybe type in a 2. So up to you guys what you'd like us to do there. Just want to see what your feedback is. Okay. Cool. Thanks for the feedback. So we'll count up. It looks like there's a handful more 2s than 1s, but we'll see what the final count is later there. And as always, if you want a chance to win $100 cash, make sure that right now you join our free Facebook group, which you can get to by going to www.getwebfire.com/FB group. That'll forward you to this page right here. And if you're not a free member of that yet, you just click the join button and Sharon will approve of you probably within like a minute or 2 or so. And then towards the end of this call, we'll give you instructions on what to do to have a chance to win $100 live at the end of this call right here. So make sure that you join the free Facebook group, which again is www.getwebfire.com/FB group. And with that, as most of you know, we have these calls every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern, which is right about now. We'll have a mix of like some calls will obviously be like, we'll basically analyze businesses or websites or stuff kind of like this. A lot more of the calls will be, we'll go through like a marketing concept, or we'll give some tips and tricks and stuff like that, or we'll do some PowerPoints where we'll have that info up. Some will be like more like Q&A type calls. So a good mix right there, but this is one of the business analysis ones. So with that, without further ado, I'll just jump straight into it by basically picking some websites or some businesses, I should say, and say what I would do to basically market it. So one of these is this one right here. And this is a person that said they at first wanted to get into kind of like the, sounds like if memory serves like the yoga niche and stuff. And then they saw that the tree of life, which is like a symbol that can be on like a necklace or other things, had like a pretty decent market, and they thought that they should try to sell that. So they made pages and stuff here to try to sell that, and kind of like I think like a free plus shipping type model right there, because you can get these basically drop shipped very, very cheaply. So even with free plus shipping, you can make a profit off that. So the question is, what would I do if this was my business? First, I really like the concept of free plus shipping, especially when the product has some profit in it right off the bat. So I'm guessing for something like this, you can find something where you can have it made for probably like $1 or so, including the shipping from sites like AliExpress and stuff, maybe like $1.50 or so tops. And if you have it be free plus, $5 to for shipping and handling, right off the bat there, you're making some dough. Now, of course, if you're paying for ads or stuff like that, you have to factor in that. And that's why it's super important that not only like do you have a good front end like this just to get the sales in, but on top of it, you want to make sure that you have a good back end, or you want to have a handful of upsells. Like, if your market basically buys like a Tree of Life necklace, maybe they'd be interested in a matching pair of earrings, or maybe they'd be interested in something else related to that. Now, I can tell based upon what the owner of this site said, is I think he might be having a little confusion. So he didn't say or not, or she, I forgot which, but sounded like they were maybe doing some Facebook ads and stuff like that. And they were trying to target people who like yoga, meditation, and all sorts of stuff like that. And they were having a bit of a hard time. Well, I'll tell you why you're having a bit of a hard time right there. You were thinking, oh, the Tree of Life has something to kind of do with meditation and yoga a little bit, and blah blah blah. And you're probably wondering why people that like yoga and all that weren't necessarily buying this. Well, let me ask you a question up front, or let's ask everyone this. If you liked yoga and you were into yoga, okay, which one would you be more likely to buy? A yoga mat or this Tree of Life necklace, or maybe yoga pants, or this Tree of Life necklace right here? Well, let's see what the crowd says here. Okay, pretty much everyone is saying the mat or the pants or yoga equipment or yoga instructions, and that's all great, and that's dead on. If they like yoga, chances are they want yoga type stuff. So this is a bit of a stretch to say, hey, if I target people that like yoga, they'll automatically want the Tree of Life necklace. Now, my guess is, a lot of people into yoga might not even know that the Tree of Life maybe has some kind of an association with that and meditation stuff. They might not even be aware of the Tree of Life in existence. Now, maybe there's some, but what you could do on the Facebook side is, if you thought that a lot of people did not know about that, you could target those who maybe like yoga and like necklaces or jewelry. Because trying to go after just those that like yoga, that's a bit of a stretch. So yeah, I'd be like, a little careful on that side right there. And I think if you were to target stuff like people that like jewelry or certain jewelry type stores or places like that, that'd probably be more of a better match versus just yoga, but possibly a combo of the two would probably be even better right there. You also have to decide, who your market is. Like, it sounds like originally you want to get into the yoga and meditation niche, and you thought this was a good entry there. If you're trying to think of a lot of products to sell them on the back end, you're truly trying to go after that niche right there, I would probably have a front end product more related to either the yoga or the meditation niche. Now, having said all that, I still like the idea of selling necklaces and jewelry for cheap on the front end. I think it makes a lot of sense, and I think it can work, well there. So that's just some little bits of info for you. The other thing too is, I would maybe, the URL you use here, it doesn't really look like a professional site. I don't know if it's like a ClickFunnels type site or a what, but I'd consider getting kind of your own domain for that, especially one that does not have like the weird numbers and all that in the top left. Just looks a bit odd. I would also, on your opt-in here, unless you absolutely need the name, which you probably don't need, I would just have the email, because anytime you ask for more information, you automatically decrease your opt-in rate. And I would also change the headline to, instead of saying, do you want to receive this necklace for free, I would maybe change it to something more along the lines, hey, get this free, or get this Tree of Life necklace for free, or get a free Tree of Life necklace into your details below now to receive yours free for a limited time. Like something like that, where it's a more blunt offer. It's like clearly in their face. Kind of like, imagine if you went to a store, okay, and let's say there's two piles of stuff. Like let's say there's some cookies, okay? So they're selling a bunch of cookies there, and as a promotional thing, they're trying to get you to taste one for free. Which of the two aisles would you rather, or which of the two piles of cookies would you rather go to? One that has a sign that says, "Hey, do you want to receive this cookie for free?" Because that's the question. So everyone says, "Well, yeah," but they're not quite sure if they really can get that for free. Whereas if there's a sign that just says, "Hey, grab your free cookie right here now," everyone will gravitate towards that because they're like, "Oh, that's crystal clear. I can grab a cookie and it's free. I can just grab it right now." Whereas if you ask a question like, "Hey, do you want to receive this cookie for free?" people think, "Well, yeah, but what's the catch? Do I have to do something?" It's like, so I would kind of maybe change that around right there. As far as the rest of it, I think it's okay. I like the fact that right off the bat right here, the main thing that they'd see is the opt-in page right here, and I think that's a great thing. And you can modify that with almost anything you want. Like if you want to have an offer for some other jewelry, that's fine. If you really want to be in the yoga and meditation niche, you can look into other kinds of products that might work there. In fact, I'm just going to pause the screen for a second. Like we go to AliExpress and I just type in yoga. And there's a bunch of yoga things right here that are quite cheap. Again, I'm not in yoga, so I don't know like what's what, but here's a mat or like a shoulder strap for a mat and all sorts of stuff like that. That's quite cheap right there. So that could be a cool thing to give away. Lots of other things that you could do. You could do the same thing for meditation or anything you want right there. Then kind of create your own little funnel based upon that. All right, so that's probably a decent amount of info to start with right there. Let's move on to another one. So I included this one right here just because I thought, there's a lot of people that kind of fit the same boat right here, where they have a site. In this case, is a site that sells a bunch of ebooks. And they have a site and they throw a bunch of stuff on it, and they think that they'll just make sales and that they can promote the site itself. And probably 99% of the time, you'll fail at that model for a few reasons. One, you're competing against who? Amazon. And if you want to go to a place to get books or an ebook, what's the first place you think of? What's probably the only place that you think of? Amazon, right? You can get any kind of ebook you want there on top of any kind of normal book too. So it's very hard to promote like a general ebook type store. And I see that you have a bunch of different books here, and one of the first things is a lot of the covers look a little on the cheap side. Like this one, I can barely even read the title. It looks like the format is the same for almost every book. So it kind of comes off as like, hey, this might be like a bunch of junk stuff, which I may or may not be right in thinking that. But here's where you can kind of change things around right there. So what you could do is, instead of trying to have one site that sells all these books, which is very hard to send people to like a general store, is you could pick a handful of your better books. Like, I'm not sure if this is a good one or not, but you could pick a handful of your better ones and kind of use those to create funnels where you try to send guys specifically to a specific offer instead of like a general offer. So in this case, you could say, hey, a lot of businesses would probably be interested to learn how to get new customers. So maybe you want to create kind of like a funnel path like that, where you start with a book on how they can, get new customers like this. But I would definitely say in a case like this, not only would you want to send specifically just this page right here, you'd want to touch up the headline and stuff. Like right now, you just say getting new customers, learn how to prepare yourself for more success in your sales career. It's kind of blah. It's not exciting. Doesn't really say or do a ton there. What I would do instead is say, hey, learn how to easily make new sales and get new customers with ease, blah, blah, blah. Learn the revolutionary tips and tricks found, within this book right here. Something along those lines. You'd want to think a bit more on what to do right there, and then try to drive the traffic specifically to one of these and make a funnel with that. So after you get the guy in here, where do you want to send them next? And you don't necessarily have to do it with this book here. It can be with any of these, but I think you'll have a lot more luck if you focus on a specific offer instead of a general one. So that's just one tip right there to start with. All right, another site or another business we have here. It's kind of like a wellness site or like a supplement, and there's a few things with that. One, you have this massive graphic at the top right here, and there's two things I don't like about it. One, it takes up the entire space or the entire screen and doesn't have a call to action. So it's like, I don't know what to do. I don't know where you want me to go. I don't know what your offer is. And two, a lot of the pictures are of the back of the text, so, or of like the summary, and you can't even read it. So like, imagine if you go to a bookstore, and they have the books laying out on the tables and stuff. What do they show first? The covers. They don't have them upside down. They don't have the summaries on the back. They have the covers because the covers look the coolest. Yet right here, all these are on the back. And you can't even read it if your whole point is to see what was included. You can't really even read that well. But as a whole, I think you would almost want to get rid of most of this and just have like a simple headline instead. The other thing, as you go down here, you have a form that just says subscribe. Subscribe to what? Is this subscribe to your list? Is this subscribe to get the offer? Is this subscribe to get a discount? What do I do? Like, most people have to be told what the offer is. Like, like if you go to a restaurant, they don't just say, hey, buy or eat. They say, hey, here's this meal. Here's meal 1, meal 2, meal 3. Which one do you want? Or they tell you specifically at like a store, hey, sign up here to get our weekly discount, or sign up here to get like half off this. Whereas you just say subscribe with no actual benefit. So you're expecting me to take action without me having any reason to. So you want to make a specific offer like, hey, enter your email below to save X amount, or to get like a free trial, just pay shipping, or something along those lines right there. The other thing is you're asking for a lot of info too, and the more info you ask for, the more likely you are to have people not take action on that. So usually I eliminate the name unless it's absolutely needed. If you want their mobile number, that's great, but you have to make sure that you actually use it. What you could do instead is have their email first, and then after they submit that, then maybe ask for their mobile, if you actually use that list right there, which I think is great. It's a great idea, but definitely have a better call to action right there. And also, have a better have a headline, or essentially a better one, that right off the bat I know what it is and what the benefits are. Like, I know it's a weight loss supplement. I might not know what, Garcinia is. Maybe some in the weight loss, if they're looking for weight loss stuff, might know. A lot probably don't. But like, maybe have a headline like, hey, like, get the amazing weight loss benefits with, this revolutionary Garcinia, weight loss supplement. Sign up for a free trial now, or sign up for a free trial and just cover the shipping, or sign up for half off your first month's supply, and then basically talk about the benefits and all that stuff right there. The other thing too is, instead of submit, like, again, I'm not sure if this is just an email opt-in form or if you're trying to get me to buy or not, but you could try to change the button to say, like, get your free trial today, or start your free trial today, or get your half off deal now, or change it around so they clearly know what it is that they're basically doing right there. So that's a handful of tips that I do right off the bat right there. And then on the marketing side, once you change your message, you could easily kind of go out there to weight loss sites and forums and stuff and start to basically, or on Facebook ads, and start to basically educate them on what Garcinia is, how it's useful, and why your supplement might be better than others out there. And you can use there's a handful of tools in Webfire that can help you find people talking about weight loss or asking questions on what a good weight loss supplement might be, or even asking questions on what Garcinia is, or however it's said. So again, just keep that in mind right there. So moving on to another one, we have one that has a cloud backup service for businesses. And I like the idea of it, but I think the uphill battle that you'll have to do in this case, and it looks like this is probably geared more towards the UK, which if that's your main market, great. If not, probably have the price in dollars to be a bit more universal there. But what I'd probably do right off the bat is, you're competing with a lot of major businesses. I mean, there's Amazon, there's Google, there's tons of the fairly big backup places. So you want to differentiate yourself. So right now, you're kind of the new guy that probably no one's heard about. And if those other places are a better deal, you're going to have a super, super tough time because they have a much larger market share. They have more visibility. But if there's a reason why someone should go to yours instead, I'm not seeing why. I don't see you saying, any reason about why yours is a good deal or why yours is basically better. I see that, hey, I can get the backup, I can get all this stuff right here, but I don't really see why I should be choosing you over another that might be much more well known. So if you have a reason why you're better, make sure to say it. Make sure it's super easy. The other thing too is the two buttons you have here are kind of conflicting. You say, hey, get started, it's free, and then you say book a consultation. Now, let me ask you guys on this call a question. If you go to a site, okay, if you go to a site and you see a product that is probably for sale, and you see something that says book basically a sales consultation, what do you think the price is? Do you think it's cheap? Do you think it's expensive? Do you think it's medium price? All right, everyone's saying a lot, big bucks, high. Yeah. Anytime you say book a consultation or do like a sales call or anything like that, people think it's high. But if you look down here, your prices are quite cheap. They're like, free to 29 pounds or starting at basically the 29 pounds a month right there, which sounds like really cheap. So what exactly, so I definitely change that because I don't know what you try to do on the consultation. You might try to upsell them, and that's all fine. I'm not trying to change, your immediate model or anything like that, but you're scaring away some right off the bat when you're asking them to book a consultation, because not only do a lot of people, like I think 9 out of 10 on this call, if not more actually, were saying that immediately they think it's super expensive. So you're scaring away those guys that say, wow, why would I go to this place that might be super expensive when I can use Amazon and Google, which probably are a lot less. And at the same time, there's a lot of people that don't like basically talking to others. Like I'm one, like I don't like to talk to a sales guy. Like if I go to a car dealership, I pretty much kind of know what I want, and I dread talking to sales people. I hate it because it's like I know what I want. I've done my research. I'll sometimes avoid places that have sales people, or like if ever you've gone to I have a daughter that of course she's a teen, so she's into like some of those like makeup stores and places like that, and some of those you walk in and it's like instantly like you're like attacked, like the SWAT team moves in on you, and there's like all these sales all these salespeople trying to sell you all sorts of things, and like you almost want to avoid the store as a whole because of that. So that it works in some cases, but you want to make sure that if you have a free or a cheap offer, I would probably not have that right off the bat, especially when you say, hey, get started, it's free. If you had that by itself, I mean, if it's free to start, a lot of people would probably click through on that. And then later, if you get them in to sign up for free, maybe at that point to say, hey, to get maybe a better or specific solution for your business, feel free to book a free consultation right here to learn what we can do for you. Or, if you wanted them to learn more, where you have like additional services and stuff after they sign up, or once you get them as a lead, you can say, hey, watch this free video or webinar showing what we can do for you and all the features that we have, or something along those lines right there. But definitely right off the bat, I would try to explain why you're different, why you're good, and what sets you apart. Because if you don't do that, I think it's much more of a challenge. All right, there's a few others here. I'll save some for next week. All right, let's do this one right here. So here's a person right here that's selling a book on Amazon. And it's basically Stress to Happiness, and it's how to do meditation for stress relief and how to help with depression, anxiety, and all that stuff. And it looks like they've had some sales and stuff like that, but right off the bat, like there's a major issue. Okay, the book you have priced at $99, and apparently it's 90% off because you were selling this book for almost $1,000. Right off the bat, everyone says bullshit. Like, no, like if you have a book on Amazon, everyone's used to a price being what? Like anywhere from a few bucks to $20 to maybe $30 or so. It's very rare to see a book on Amazon for a lot more. Now, outside of Amazon, where you have more control of the sales page and stuff like that, you can charge a higher price. You have more time to talk about the benefits. People aren't used to it. They're not used to the site where there's tons of books that are a lot less. Like if I searched for, meditation books, I'd probably find a ton for, $10 or less right there. The other thing too is I can also apparently read it for free on Kindle if I have the Kindle Unlimited, or I can get a paperback for almost $900. Like it doesn't really make sense. Like you have the pricing, like right here it says it's $99, right here it's $868, and right here it's free. So I'm confused, and I don't really know what price you're trying to sell this at. Like maybe this is a mistake, and maybe it's meant to be like super cheap, or free, or what. And actually, having said that too, it might be that this is in a different currency, and it might be a lot less. Now I see it, so offhand that's probably the case right there, and I don't know what that price is. But having said that too, if you have a markup where like it's like way less, that kind of looks like it's a bit fake, especially when they can read it for free. It's just kind of confusing. So I'd send like a clear message on what you want there. And having said that too, this can be, you can use Amazon to get a lot of sales and stuff like that. That's all fine, and that's all great and fine and dandy. But you also want to make sure, like, if you're trying to just send lots of traffic to one page or to one main product like this, I'd encourage you to have your own product page somewhere. Like have like a page where you either give this away or you sell just this, and then after they buy that or after they sign up for free, you have a bunch of upsells. You have like at least 1 to 3 upsells. Ideally, I think the 2 to 3 range is pretty good right there. You try to sell them additional things related to that to kind of like help them along and to really increase the value of what those are worth to you. So you want to make sure to use this almost like a lead grab right there. And it's great to leave one on Amazon, but I'd also consider having one on your separate page, and then trying to do what you can to drive the traffic to that page right there. All right. All right, here's one I thought was pretty interesting right here. So it's basically a site. There's a few links that they sent over, but this is one. This specific link is for a free trial, and basically it's some way, from my understanding, to get rid of essentially cable and stuff. So you get sports and you get movies and all that for for basically $50 a month right there. And the idea is, hey, you can get all this stuff for a lot less than cable. And in this case, it's a free offer for 15 days, and it does not even need. It looks like a credit card. It does not need, so that's pretty good right there. I'm not sure if you're able to change the page itself. Like, it might just be this is like an affiliate link. But if you can change the page, I would have a headline here versus, like, you have a big video right here. It takes up a lot of space, but I would have a headline that says, hey, cut your cable bill by more than half. That's a pretty big incentive right there. Or, hey, get more channels than your cable, access to premium movie channels, yada yada yada, access to all sports, yada yada, for less than half of what you pay your cable company now, and use it on any device you want, including TVs, phones, laptops, or computers, yada yada. So something like that, which really makes it seem better than cable. Like, hey, I can watch this, on my computer, on my phone, on my TV. I can watch it on my tablet. I can watch it anywhere. So some cable places do something like that. A lot don't. So you have that, and you say, hey, and it's a fraction of what the normal cable bill might be. Oh, and you still have access to all those sports and all those movies and all the stuff that you like anyway. That's kind of a cool incentive right there. So I would maybe change the headline if you could. If you can't, that's fine. But what I would do on the marketing side, this would probably be a great one to test out one of two ways. One, you could find probably lots of people on forums and social media complaining about about their cable bills, or basically asking to compare bills and stuff like that. And you could say, hey, I used to pay $150 a month for cable TV and blah blah. And even when I had a promotional deal, it was $99 a month. But I switched to this place right here, where I get it for less than $50 a month. I get access to more channels and all the sports and blah blah blah. And then say they also have a link where you can sign up for a free trial right here without a credit card. And then you give that link up right there. That's providing value. And especially when you point out that there's a free trial that they don't even need a credit card, it's a pretty big incentive to try it out, so people can see for themselves. The other thing too is you want to make sure to do some research online and see what people like and don't like about cable compared to like Netflix and Hulu and stuff like that. And what you'll oftentimes find is that people that stick to cable might stick it or might stay there because they're worried about sports. Like, maybe they really like football or something like that, which maybe Netflix might not have. So that might be why they keep the cable. So if you say bluntly as one of your big benefits right off the bat that they get access to all those sports too, they're like, well, wow, the only reason why I was paying $100 a month was so I could watch the sports, and now I see where I can drop that. So that's something to keep in mind right there, because you are still also competing with not only the cable places, which you'd have a cheaper price then, but you're also competing with like Netflix and Hulu and stuff like that too, which Netflix and Hulu are a lot less, but you want to make sure what the extra benefit is. Like, hey, you get access to all the sports, all these live shows, blah blah, and then again you can reach out using the lead tools on Webfire to find guys asking questions about, you know, cable bills and cable companies, or how to cut the cable cord. There's lots of questions on that stuff. You'll find tons and tons there. But you could also check on like the Facebook ad side, like try to run ads to say, you know, hey, have a free trial to learn how you can, or to have a free trial into this cool service with over 3,000 channels, including all the live sports, you know, you could ever want, and you know, be able to cut your cable bill, you know, and sign up now for free, no credit card needed. You could probably get a decent return on that, but you'd have to, you know, I'd have to basically know how much you make per sale here, like what your actual commissions are or what your profit is per sale. You know, at $50 a month, I don't know if you get half that. I don't know if you get 10 bucks or 5 or what, but if the amount was decent enough, you could probably do Facebook ads off of that and do a decent job, but you'd have to know like what the average sign up is worth to you there. All right. So moving on to the next one right here. So this is one where I had to read up a little bit on what this is. But basically, they sell kind of like a service where you can have, if you have like a doctor's office or anything like that, you can have basically like a message board right here, like an LCD type screen, where you can have whatever you want on it. Now, I like the idea of it. I agree that it makes a lot of doctors' offices look much more modern. And the fact that they can do stuff like they can add their schedules and stuff on it, or they can say their you know, appointments and stuff. I think there's a lot of cool stuff that they could do on that that they could have benefit, especially for the price that you charge. It's not insanely high. Like I think it was like a few $100 a year for just like a little device that they can plug into almost any LCD screen. So, you know, with that, you know, I'd say, you know, a few things that you could do right there is, you know, it's confusing right off the bat on what you do. Like it is kind of known that, hey, it's kind of like a bulletin type board or like an electronic one, but you have to really say what the benefits are. And you don't really say, like right here, you say your content only, no advertising. So when I see that, you know, I know you think that you're basically saying that you don't have your own ads on it, which is great. But a random Joe might think, oh, well, what if I want to show ads on it? You're saying I can't show my own ads on it? I know that's probably not what you intend, but that's what some people might read off of that. So what you want to do is have like a list of benefits of what they can do with that. Now I know, like, you know, on how it works, and you say it, you know, improves the waiting experience and stuff like that, but people have to go down and read all that. What I would do is I would have just like a bullet point list saying all the main benefits that they get out of it. Like, hey, say like, hey, you can list in for information on it, like this, and that. You can, you know, improve the waiting experience. You can have, you know, news on it. You can have entertainment on it. You can have maybe ads on it for like their own services and stuff. Like that's one thing that might be worth possibly mentioning, because if they're paying $300 a month, yeah, it's great that they could like improve the waiting experience. People have something to look at. But if they see a way to possibly make money off of it, like if they can basically talk about their additional services and stuff like that, that would probably get more of their attention. Like imagine if you were at like a dentist, okay, and you went there for like a checkup, or you had, you know, some dental pain, and imagine if you saw a board there where you saw, let's say they had an ad for teeth whitening or for teeth straightening with a product like, you know, Invisalign or some weird thing like that. If you're sitting there and you're watching the screen and you're like, oh, they have a special for teeth whitening for only X amount of money, or oh, looks like you know, they have a special for this or that, and they can read about that right there and what the special is, what the offers and stuff like that. All of a sudden, spending $300 a month, or not a month, a year, doesn't seem like a bad deal, because all of a sudden the doctors and everyone are thinking, oh geez, I'm spending $300 a year, but I can advertise easily to these people, and I could probably make that back easy peasy and a lot more, and I could turn the waiting room not only into a better experience for them, but I could turn it into a way to make more money off of them. That's a major win-win. And then on top of that, if you also say like it's super easy to edit these screens, like I see if you go into, I think it was into how it works, you explain how it's like an easy setup and all that right there, and that's all great. But I would also on the main page maybe have like a line or two that says, use our what you see is what you get editor to easily edit it, to say anything you want, add your own images or do whatever, to make it look super easy. Because then if they think, hey, I can make my own ads super easy, I can make my own announcements or bulletin boards, I can do anything I want super easy right here, it adds a lot more value to that. So not only could they have maybe their schedule on it, not only could they announce the next appointments on it, but they could also advertise on it. They could have entertainment on it, like maybe news and stuff if you have that. They could have maybe tutorials on it. There's a lot of cool stuff that they could do on it. That all of a sudden your price point seems like it's almost nothing. And especially when they see that there's a way that they can make that back right there. So that's a couple things that I would change right there. And on top of that too, your costs aren't terribly high. Like they're £360 per year right there. And that's not too bad, but when they see this, people initially might think that might be way more. So I think that's pretty good that you have a good deal right there, but definitely list off the benefits and give them the idea about, hey, I don't see anything mentioned how they can make money off of this, which is, almost any chiropractor or doctor place or place like that, they're all in, not all of them, but a lot of them are interested, especially the private ones, in how to make more. So that's kind of a key thing that I think was missed, right there. Or even like on the doctor's office, you could have like health announcements and stuff. There's a lot of cool things that they could do, but I think the money side of it is being missed right there. And then what I could also see possibly doing is maybe create like a short video, like not a long one. I'm talking maybe like a 2 or 3 minute one where you basically explain what the benefits are. You show one live, like in action, and you show examples of what they could show on it. Like, hey, if you want to have it be entertaining, you can show stuff like this and that. If you want to have it be a way to make the schedules easier and show the next appointments, you can have it be like this. If you want to show your own ads on it, to advertise your own products and services, you can do this. Oh, and by the way, it's all insanely easy to edit. You simply go here, click here, and change anything you want right here, and you just plug it into any LCD like this right here. I mean, show it how it's all done, make it super easy, and then I think a video like that would go a long way. Wouldn't be terribly hard, and it's something that you could perhaps advertise the video itself on places like YouTube, or reach out to doctors and stuff and make an offer, like that there. To it looks like you have like a free trial. If you really explain it in a short video and stuff like that, I think you get a lot more interest, especially when they see that they could possibly make their money back off of that right there. All right, so moving on. So that's a pretty good start right there. So another site that we have right here, there was, it's basically, I think it's like a house call doctor type service. I think this is in South Africa, and they do vaccinations and stuff like that, and I think general calls too. So there's a few things that I would do in that case. So it looks like you have a bunch of different services and stuff. And I would make sure that you try to have like maybe like a separate page for each one, and like you try to have those in the titles, but have them be localized. Like meningitis vaccination, in Johannesburg or stuff like that. But I would also, looks like you have a 24/7 line. If you do house calls and stuff like that, I would definitely try to optimize and have a page devoted to like your emergency, call service and stuff like that. Like basically, I don't know what terms they'd use in South Africa. Like I don't know if it'd be like a mobile doctor or a house call doctor, but do some keyword research and stuff there, and try to optimize, your pages for that, and have it be so like if someone has like, let's say, a really bad cough and it's at an odd time, the normal doctor office isn't open, they know they can easily find you. Or if they're in like a nice area and they don't know the area all that well, they don't know where to travel, you might be a very appealing service. So make sure you rank for stuff like 24/7, on-call house call doctor, house call visit doctor. Again, do some keyword research to see what terms are used there. If you're, and it looks like you also do vaccinations based on where they're traveling. You could also have pages maybe devoted to the top countries that people by you tend to visit. And say, and like try to rank for keywords like the vaccinations you should get for travel to Brazil or whatever place it might be, and like you have a page for each one, and you list out all those, because what will happen, people that are trying to do research for what vaccinations they should get for each place have a good chance of landing upon your page right here, seeing the services you offer, and possibly more likely to follow through and reach out and contact you there. So that's a couple things. And I would also make sure that within Webfire that you take advantage of the schema and add that in, because you're a local business in this case right here. Definitely make sure that you have a local schema in there, and that's just if we go here. Just make sure that you have the local schema picked right here and add in your information there, because that will help you rank there. And what's cool is for your business hours, you can have you be open around the clock too, which will make you stand out big time there if anyone's trying to search for, like a 24/7 doctor and stuff like that. But definitely you have a lot of individual search terms I think you could try to rank for and stuff right there. I also would hesitate, like you have business consultations. I'd be maybe, and that looks like goes to nothing, I would maybe try to pick some better keywords there, because the majority of people searching for a business consultation probably don't think on the vaccination side. So they're probably looking more like on how to increase sales and stuff. So I'd probably try to play around with your keyword and stuff there. And all right, moving on along, I think we can do maybe one last one here really quick. Here's one. It's basically looks like a community for women. And right off the bat, I'm not exactly sure what it is. Like, looks like it's a community for women, but I don't know what you do. And you're asking me to sign up right here, and again, I don't know exactly what it is. You say that they can rejuvenate their mind and do all this stuff, but what is the offer? You're basically talking about a handful of benefits, which is great, but again, I don't know if it's just expertise that, like, you're saying stuff in like videos or newsletters, or if you're just a coach. It's really unclear. So like down here, all right, down here, if you read everything, looks like there's a virtual group, there's some videos, recipe of the month, I would make it just a bit more clear what it is to start with. And it's a little confusing as it is. Like, I like the fact that you have the benefits, but I'd make it just a bit more clear what it is that you do and all that right there. And on the other thing, on the marketing side too of that, I would again use a handful of the WebFire tools and such to try to reach out to maybe ladies that are asking questions or having problems and stuff like that. Like, you can find like tons of support groups and forums and stuff, and you can start to participate in those and give some useful advice and say, hey, I'm a member of this group right here. I find it super useful to talk through this stuff, especially if you don't have anyone to talk to or whatever. Like, if that's the kind of group that you have right there, there's a lot of value in that. But you have to get the message out of what the actual offer is, what the group is, and kind of reach out to those that could most benefit from you right there. And with that, I'll do a brief Q&A. We have there's a few sites I didn't get through this week, so we'll do maybe a couple next week, and then we'll probably have some time to do some other stuff next week on as well. So we'll maybe have some additional training on some other stuff, and we can get through the couple that are left. But in the meantime, if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask right now. And also, to have a chance to win $100, what you want to do is you want to go to getwebfire.com/FB group and click join really quick, and Sharon will approve you probably within a minute or two. And you'll see a post from Sharon right here from about 20 minutes ago, asking what you thought of today's call. If you click on the comment and you leave a comment there, we'll pick a random winner in about just a few minutes or so. So make sure you leave those right now. And in the meantime, if you guys have any questions at all, and again, you can leave any kind of comment you want. If you know what you thought of the call, if you have a suggestion for a future call or anything like that, feel free. And we will have the recordings of these available in the members area, usually within, usually by the end of the day, or by tomorrow morning at the latest or so. And then next week we'll wrap up with a couple or a few other businesses, and then we'll get on to some other training next week as well right there. All right. All right, let's see. All right. All right, so any questions you guys have, feel free to ask. Otherwise, I'll give you maybe another minute or so to leave the comment right there. All right, yeah, and I see a lot of guys that are leaving comments on other sites on kind of the same thing, like but they're paying attention a lot to like the colors they didn't like, or look at the ebooks and stuff like that. So it's like, it might seem like it's almost nitpicky, but these are how your prospects are thinking. Like, if your ebook looks cheap, people will think that, and you'll lose sales. And the downside is or the plus side and downside is oftentimes the difference between a cheap looking book or product or any graphic can be as easy as like a Fiverr guy, like Fiverr.com, that can fix it for $5. So again, don't overlook things like that. All right, here's a great question right here. So this person asks, would you recommend paid ads to drive traffic, or do you think it'd be sufficient to use social media to try to drive sales for a single page offer? It really depends, but you can do both. So like, don't think you can't do both at the same time. It's kind of like saying, hey, do you think it's okay to drink water, or can I have some juice too? It's like you can have both. Um, and it's not to say that one is necessarily better or worse than the other. The plus side about paid ads is that you can send a lot of traffic very, very quickly. The downside is, it's obviously paid and you have to make sure your numbers work out. But you can quickly test stuff to see if it works or not. But on the free side, there's lots of things that you can do, like including, I didn't get to the business this week, but next week we will. There's one that was selling kind of a cool, kind of like a baby bib. And with a product like that, as I'll show next week, you can use a lead tool, and you'll literally find, tons and tons and tons of people looking for baby gifts or looking for recommendations for stuff just like that, and just reaching out to those guys right there and basically mentioning your product or showing it off. That can work and get some free leads right there. On the social media side, the same thing. There's lots of different kinds of products where just basically talking about stuff on social media can help a great deal, and you can get sales and traffic off that way. I know a lot of guys that sell a lot of stuff off that way without even having to do paid ads, but I'm a fan of both. So I'd say try both right there and see what works, because at the end of the day, if you spend $5 to make 10, you'll want to do that as much as you can on paid ads. But if you can also do some easy stuff on the free side and make sales, you might as well do both right there. All right. So this person said, what lead tool? So inside of Webfire, there's actually like several lead tools. I'll just show you right here. So there's actually the two areas to find them. Some under leads right here, like you can go to the Q&A tool, the Rank Lead Finder, and the Real-Time Lead Finder. On social media, you can get a lot of leads off the Tweet Lead Finder right here. So yeah, those are the ones that I was referring to, and I'll show those off a bit more next week with some examples on some of the other businesses and stuff where we have a bit more time. I'll show off some live examples with that. All right, guys, so with that, I'll give you guys maybe 10 more seconds, then I'll pick a winner here. It will be a random drawing. So again, make sure to leave a comment right here. All right. All right, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. I'll count the few ones outside first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so 5 plus 44, so we have 49 in total. I'll go to random.org, see what the winner is. 35. All right, so there's 44 here. So 35 is the winner. Okay, 44, 43, 42, 41, 40, 39, 38, 37, 36, 35. All right. So the winner this week is Gerardo Carretero. If this is you or your kids here, I assume, congratulations. You are $100 richer, or you will be, as soon as you pass on your PayPal email to Sharon in the chat box. Again, congratulations to Gerardo for being this week's Wednesday Marketing webinar winner right here. So just make sure to pass on your PayPal email to Sharon, and she'll send on $100 over PayPal to you. And looks like you have a pretty big family right there. So hopefully that covers free dinner or something right there. So again, congratulations to you for being this week's winner. And again, as always, guys, we have these calls every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern. We'll have our next one, next week, Wednesday, again at 2 p.m. Eastern time, and we'll have the recording of this up in the members area probably within like a few hours or by tomorrow morning at the latest. So with that, if you have any other questions, feel free to write us at support@webfire.com, or if there's any topics or anything else that you'd like to see covered, let us know. So with that, guys, hope you have a great rest of the week, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.